Alright, so what we want to show you today is maybe something you might want to add to your food plot if you have a good permanent spot where maybe you own the property and you can really try to yearly improve what you're providing for the deer, maybe for the turkey as well. Here we have a sawtooth oak. This is a 2-year-old tree. You can see that the new growth on this tree starts about right here, and there's a shoot here, and then another shoot that comes all the way up here, probably about 10 inches or so from this sawtooth oak. This sawtooth oak now had been pruned completely into one stem at the beginning of this spring, and all of these branches have been put back on. And this tree here is about 2 foot tall, maybe just slightly over 2 foot tall. What we've done also is this year we've started to employ the use of grow tubes, and so that's what we have here. We put a tube on about every other tree. They're planted about 8 feet apart, and so we understand that at some point we're going to have to thin these trees and space them. So we went ahead and did that with our grow tubes, and this grow tube here does several things for us. Provides a solid barrier down on the first couple feet of the tree, and then as you come up the tree it has some perforations which allows airflow so the tree doesn't get too hot in the summertime. The tree has done exceptionally well inside, and this same 2-year-old tree has actually come out of the top of the 5-foot grow tube. So we're looking at a tree that's about 3 foot taller than this tree here, and they're the same age. Tremendous growth on this tree right here. This tree also was pruned to a single stem at the beginning of this growing season, and as you can tell, has done exceptionally well. Now, as we move over here, you'll see that not every tree has come up out of the grow tube. Here we have one, and it's still pretty far down in there. I'll try to let you get a little peek in there. Still pretty far down in there, but I would anticipate that within the next growing season we'll see basically every tree come out of these grow tubes. A nice fresh new growth on these trees, just really a beautiful thing to see from these 2-year-old sawtooth oak, which have reached, this one at least has reached just a little over 5 foot tall. To use these grow tubes, you just want to stake them up. We just simply used a pine stake that you can get basically at any hardware store. The grow tubes themselves come with removable ties, so they just easily slip off with a push of the button that's right here on the tie. That way you can remove the grow tube and prune the tree back again next year, as we'll want to trim all of the leaves. You can just see some dark areas through here where there's some leaf growth, and we really, with this grow tube, we're trying to accomplish a couple things. We want a good straight tree, and we want a tree that's not real bushy down on the lower part of the tree, and we want to try to get all the leaves up as high as we possibly can, the branches up as high as we can, to make a nice tall straight tree. The grow tube helps protect the tree around the base here, so as we come in, and you can see we've killed the grass, killed out the competition, so as we spray our chemical around the tree, we don't have to worry about getting that on the tree. Just getting the chemical on the stem of the tree can actually kill that tree. We don't necessarily have to get the leaves moist with our chemical, so that protects it while we spray it. We want to come around and kill out all the vegetation that's going to compete with this tree to grow. We fertilize these trees with a small packet after planting. We just kind of threw down a packet here, just a time release packet, threw that down on the ground, and and covered it over with a little bit of dirt. The tree tube helps your tree grow nice and straight, but the other thing it does is it protects it from the deer. Now, the first thing that you might think of when you think about protecting a tree from deer is that as the tree gets bigger, the deer are going to come rub on it. The bucks are going to come rub their antlers on the tree. And most of the time, that's going to rub enough bark off the tree that it'll kill it. But the other thing that you'll find is that late in the wintertime, these trees provide a food source for the deer. And it's just a woody stem. And so in the wintertime, the stem here may not have any leaves on it. Maybe all the leaves have fallen off. But the deer will come by and actually just nip the top of this tree out. And we had several trees this year, late winter, prior to putting the growth tubes on, that were actually nipped off at the top. And you lose probably about a third of the growth of a tree season when a deer comes by and nips that top off. So you're trying to grow a tree all year. Maybe you come out and fertilize it, and maybe you kill the grass and the competition around it, and then a deer walks by, and in one bite, he takes about a third of your growth off for that past season. So this is one thing that's very helpful, is a grow tube. You might want to add that to your arsenal of tricks in your favorite food plot. We're going to walk down through here. We've got another little tree here. Now, this is a 2-year-old tree as well, but what you'll see is that the tree had been broken off at the bottom. Again, this is kind of what you see when a deer comes by and nips off a tree. This one wasn't very tall to begin with and had been broken over. I'm not sure if this tree actually had been bitten off, or we have actually seen where deer cover this area so heavily that the deer will actually walk by and step on the tree. And we've actually had footprints where the hoof mark is right on top of the tree and actually breaks the tree over. And this is just new growth that's come up out of this planting. This is 1 year's growth, almost a foot tall there with that new little tree. Now we had another tree come up in our line. As we walk here, you can see where we've done all the killing of the grass just to kind of help our trees grow. This is one of our better trees that's not in a grow tube. You can see how big the stem is on this tree, just a tremendous tree there. But we've got these other trees that come up on this property. This right here is a persimmon tree, and these American persimmons just grow naturally on this property, and they'll come up very, very thick. We look over here, we've got a couple more that are coming up. But this tree right here, again, the same age as the sawtooth oak, 2 years old. But what we have is we had a persimmon tree come up right in our line of sawtooth oak. And it just so happened that our sawtooth died that was in this vicinity here. And this persimmon, we decided to put it in a grow tube, and look here at what we have. We have about a 5.5 foot tall 2-year-old persimmon tree that has come up. Now, that's in comparison with this tree, who is the same age, and this tree twice the size, all because of a grow tube and a small packet of fertilizer at the bottom. So there's a lot of great things that you can do with these grow tubes. You can get them for anywhere from $3.50 to $5 a piece. That includes your ties. You have to buy your own stake. You might want to use different material for your stakes. They do use bamboo, or you could even use rebar. That would certainly be pretty durable. But these will resist the sunlight, and they'll last about 5 years is what you're expected to get out of these. And then they will just kind of begin to break down. So it's a good way to get your trees off to a good start, to get them growing. And this is what we hope to have in several other areas around our food plot, is to produce some trees that will provide food for the deer, for the turkeys in years to come.